What are you afraid of? For most of us, high school was a time of navigating social circles, stressing over exams, and dreaming of the future. But for some, the hallowed halls of education became the backdrop for their worst nightmares. These aren't stories of ghosts in the auditorium or legends whispered in the locker room. These are four disturbing, true high school horror stories that prove sometimes the most terrifying things happen when the bell rings. Stick around, because you're not going to want to hear these alone. Our first story takes us to Philadelphia in 1985, to the classrooms of Bartram High School. This is a story of two students, Christine Green and Alan Briscoe, whose lives became inexplicably intertwined by their disappearances. Christine Green, a 16-year-old known as Dinky or Tina to her friends, was a student at Bartram High. On the morning of April 23, 1985, she left her home on Greenway Avenue, just like any other school day, to catch the trolley on Woodland Avenue. But Christine never made it to school. She vanished without a trace. Her family insisted she wasn't the type to run away. She was close with her 7 siblings, and her mother was bedridden at the time. There was a troubling rumor that Christine may have been pregnant, which some speculated could have been a reason for her disappearance. For 9 long months, Christine's case grew cold. Then, the unthinkable happened again. On December 13, 1985, another Bartram High student, 16-year-old Alan Briscoe, disappeared. His mother, who worked 2 jobs, tried to call him that morning to wake him for school, but there was no answer. She tried again that afternoon, but still nothing. When she finally returned home late that night, her daughter was there, but Alan was gone. His sister explained that Alan had the house keys, so she had been locked out and had to stay at their grandmother's. The connection between these 2 cases is as chilling as it is mysterious. Both were students at the same high school, and both were last seen in the vicinity of Woodland Avenue. A friend of Alan's later told police that he had been with him on the day he disappeared. They had ridden the subway around the city before taking a bus back to their neighborhood. The friend's last memory of Alan was of him getting off the bus at Woodland Avenue, saying he was going to visit a female friend. Alan, like Christine, was not known to be a runaway. He left behind his clothes and $50 in birthday money. To this day, neither Christine Green nor Alan Briscoe have ever been found, and their disappearances remain a dark, unsolved mystery in the heart of Philadelphia. Some stories are so strange, they defy any logical explanation. This next case from Springfield, New Jersey, is one of them. It revolves around the tragic and bizarre death of a high school student named Jeanette De Palma. On August 7, 1972, 16-year-old Jeanette De Palma told her mother she was taking a train to a friend's house. When she didn't return, her parents filed a missing person report. For 6 weeks, there was no sign of Jeanette. Then, on September 19th, a local dog brought home a decomposed forearm and hand. This led police to a cliff in the Hoodale Quarry, known to locals as the Devil's Teeth, where they found Jeanette's remains. The scene was unsettling, and the media coverage at the time was sensational, with rumors of occult activity swirling around the case. Some initial reports from witnesses claimed that strange and possibly occult objects surrounded her body. However, later investigations downplayed these claims, stating the area was simply overgrown. An autopsy was inconclusive due to the advanced state of decomposition, but the coroner suspected strangulation, leading to the case being treated as a homicide. An unusually high amount of lead was also found in her remains, a detail that has never been explained. Despite numerous theories, including a tip about a homeless man named Red who lived in the nearby woods and disappeared shortly after Jeanette, her murder remains unsolved. In a more recent development, convicted serial killer Richard Cottingham, also known as the Torso Killer, has alluded to possibly being involved in her death, but no definitive connection has been made. The death of Jeanette De Palma continues to be one of New Jersey's most disturbing and debated cold cases. Our third story is a testament to the idea that sometimes truth is stranger than fiction. It's a case from Chicago in 1977, where a high school-aged respiratory therapist's murder was allegedly solved with help from beyond the grave. Host: Teresita Basa was a respiratory therapist who immigrated to the United States from the Philippines. On the night of February 21, 1977, firefighters were called to her apartment after a neighbor reported smelling smoke. After forcing their way in, they found a mattress on fire. Beneath it was Teresita's naked body, with a butcher knife plunged into her chest. The investigation quickly hit a wall. There were no signs of forced entry and no clear suspects. A note was found that read, "Get theater tickets for AS." But police couldn't identify who that might be. For months, the case went cold. Then, 5 months after the murder, a man named Jose Chua contacted the police with an incredible story. His wife, Remy, who was also a respiratory therapist and a co-worker of Teresita's, had been having strange visions. According to Dr. Chua, his wife would fall into a trance-like state and speak in a voice that was not her own. The voice identified itself as Teresita Basa and named her killer, another hospital employee named Alan Showery. The spirit claimed that Showery had come to her apartment to fix her television, but then attacked and killed her, stealing her jewelry, which he then gave to his girlfriend. Initially skeptical, the police decided to investigate Alan Showery. To their astonishment, they found Teresita's stolen jewelry in the possession of Showery's girlfriend. Faced with this evidence, Showery confessed to the murder. He was ultimately convicted and sentenced to 14 years in prison. The case of Teresita Basa remains one of the most bizarre and debated instances of a murder being solved, seemingly with a little help from the victim herself. Imagine buying your dream home, a place where you plan to raise your children and create a lifetime of happy memories. Now, imagine that dream turning into a relentless nightmare before you even move in. This is the true story of the Watcher House in Westfield, New Jersey. In June of 2014, Derek and Maria Broaddus purchased their ideal home at 657 Boulevard for nearly $1.4 million. Their excitement quickly turned to terror when they began receiving a series of disturbing, typewritten letters. The anonymous author called themselves the Watcher and claimed that their family had been watching the house for generations. The letters contained an unnerving amount of detail about the Broaddus family, including their 3 young children, who the Watcher referred to as young blood. One letter read, "All of the windows and doors in 657 Boulevard allow me to watch you and track you as you move through the house. Who am I? I am the Watcher." The Watcher also claimed to have been in control of 657 Boulevard for the better part of 2 decades now. The Broaddus family, terrified for their children's safety, never moved into the house. They contacted the Westfield Police Department, who conducted an extensive investigation. Suspicion fell on several individuals, including their neighbors, but no one was ever charged. The family even hired private investigators, but the identity of the Watcher remains a mystery to this day. After years of living in fear and being unable to sell the house, the Broaddus family finally sold it in 2019 at a significant financial loss. The new owners have not reported receiving any letters from the Watcher. The case of the Watcher House is a terrifying reminder that sometimes the most disturbing threats come from the shadows of our own neighborhoods. These creepy high school events and the stories that surround them serve as a chilling reminder that evil can be found in the most unexpected of places. 4 stories of terror, all rooted in the seemingly safe world of high school. From unsolved disappearances to a murder seemingly solved by a ghost and a dream home that became a living nightmare, these disturbing true high school horror stories show us that the real world can be far more frightening than any horror movie. If you found these stories as chilling as I did, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more tales of the unexplained and the terrifying. Until next time, stay safe.